Hey Writing 221, this is the final video of the class. We won't have a week 10 video, this is it. I'm going to talk a little bit more about revision. I'm giving you a little checklist here, a revision checklist. And this is something I want you guys to do with your essay 5s. So your problem and solution essays. Your problem and solution essays should be arranged or structured around the problem and then the solution. First you explore the problem and then you explore the solution. At the point when you think, oh, this essay's done, I'm ready to turn it in to Jay, I'm ready to turn it in, I'm ready, I want you to pause, to stop, and I want you to go through this checklist. I'm going to give it to you right now. 1, I want you to go through the entire essay again, outline it. So first, mark the thesis statement with a highlighter. Number 2, next to every paragraph in the margins, label with just 1 or 2 words what you think the paragraph's focus is, which means you have to read through the whole paragraph and glean out a focus for that paragraph. It should be in the topic sentence. Your topic sentence should be guiding the reader to that focus. However, you might find in this moment of doing revision that your paragraph maybe has 2 foci, and maybe you need to actually split that paragraph into 2 paragraphs and elaborate further in each one. That happens. So you're going to label each paragraph with 1 or 2 words, and that is sort of what you think the paragraph is about. Should be in the topic sentence. Then actually, I want you on a separate piece of paper, and you don't have to turn this in. This is just an idea for you. It would help if you do it. I want you to basically sum up the job of each paragraph. How does the paragraph develop this idea, right? I want you to actually kind of analyze your own paragraphs. Does it take us through an example? Does it elaborate the idea before it takes us through example? What kind of example do you use? Do you connect that example back to the initial idea, etc.? Think about the paragraph's anatomy or the arrangement. Is it using a topic sentence? Does it elaborate any of the ideas that the paragraph discovers? In other words, does it say, does it consider its origins, an idea's origins or its impacts? Does it sort of dig into the idea by posing the question how or why? What kind of evidence does the paragraph use to support your initial idea, that paragraph's idea? And where is that? Is that in the middle of the paragraph, the beginning of the paragraph? It shouldn't be in the beginning of the paragraph. It should be somewhere in the middle towards the end. And is the paragraph tying the evidence back to the idea in the topic sentence? So thinking about the paragraph's anatomy, the structure, how it flows. Finally, does the paragraph connect back to the thesis? Important. Does the paragraph echo or use some of the language of the thesis? If it doesn't, maybe it means that your paragraph is kind of out of whack. It's you're sort of maybe digressing a little too much. After you go through the whole paper, I want you to then take a look at all of the paragraph labels, write them down on a separate piece of paper. So those labels in the margins where you just sort of labeled each paragraph by its sort of focus. Put them all on a separate piece of paper so that you can see their progression through. And does that progression through the paper echo the progression of the thesis statement? That's another thing to sort of gauge. This is what you catch here. Sometimes you might see that a paper maybe repeats an idea 2 or 3 pages later. And you might catch that. Or you might catch that, oh wow, I have this sort of idea in my thesis statement, And I actually don't even elaborate that. I talked about this part of the problem in my thesis statement, but I don't even touch that in my paper. So that's sort of looking at the progression of the paper, each paragraph as a link in that progression, and then looking back at the thesis statement. All right, people. It's been a fun class, you four. Let's dig in here. Week 10 is going to be light, so dig in. Here we go.